Whether you're a lifelong keeper or just getting started, help us encourage responsible keeping, conservation, and public education in the interest of keeping our reptiles safe and healthy as we protect them for future generations. You're invited to spend time with us as we experience these awesome animals together on Intrepid Exotics. What's up, guys? Good to see you. We made it through another week. We're back at another Saturday. I just walked in the door 30 minutes ago. So it's been a busy day. But that's always a good thing. Of course, it was really slow. I only seen one juvenile bald eagle at the spot that I was at. Went out to see if I could catch him, but it was really quiet out there today. So hopefully, we're supposed to get some rain here the next couple of days, 3-4 days. And after it rains and the lake fills up and they open the sluiceway down there, apparently that's when all of the birds really come in there and go nuts. And there's like 10-20 bald eagles that'll swarm that thing in the fall. So we'll see. That's my big goal for those of you guys that haven't been keeping up with me on Facebook and stuff. I've been really heavy into hunting these bald eagles. I want to get some stellar bald eagle pictures. Maybe sell some prints, things like that. So it'll be a lot of fun. So let's see who is with us. Tara's here. Good to see you. Seen that picture you posted earlier, your snake crawling around on your glass. I don't know what it is about the smaller snakes, man. They're completely addicted to glasses. That's the first place they go. Erica made it. Good to see ya. My mother made it. Good to see ya. Thank you. Those photos are a lot of fun. And they're just going to get better too. Especially, I think, this fall. They'll really be putting out some amazing stuff. We'll see. I got to wait for the animals to show up. So, Turtle, good to see ya. Laura's with us. Hello. Aaron, good evening. I've got to flip this thing around because it's in the way of my chat. The only bad thing about this setup is I've got the camera right here in front of this big monitor. So I got to position it just right. I can still see the chat and see if I got a really stupid look on my face or something. Yeah, 2 words, fish necklace. I don't know, man. Those things are really squirrely up there. The first time I'd seen like 3 or 4 of these eagles on this river, one of the juveniles went down to get a fish. And these things, as soon as one of them gets a fish, it's like the other ones swarm on them. And they just go for the first one that they see. So if they see one in the water, they'll go for it. If they see another animal with a fish pulling it out of the water, they go for that animal and try and steal it from them. It's really funny. Just barely missed a really good video of 2 of them fighting for a fish the other day, a juvenile and an adult. But yeah, sometimes things happen so fast out there, you just get confused. You hit the wrong button and you miss it. Jar Jar, good to see ya. Rachel. Leo is with us. Nicole, good to see you. Okay. Man. Oh my God. Amy. It's the legend. I've been seeing your Amazon Trebo videos that you've been putting out. And that's just so awesome that you've got that camera set up for them. I haven't seen, I thought I saw something where they had started to give birth. I'll have to catch back up on that, but that's really cool. It was really funny because Tara the other day was all up in that. She was watching that, just chomping at the bit to see these babies be born. So it's good to see you, man. It's good to have you on. Let's see. Okay, so I'm going to extrapolate from that she's showing her pregnant emerald tree boa that she hasn't delivered yet. So, yeah, Tara's good people. Tara's good people. Oh, cool. Must have gotten a Patreon sticker in the other day. That's cool. Yeah, I've got to kind of look at the merch on there and make sure that everything is where I want it to be. may end up starting to bump some things up or shift some things around, add some stuff to it. Another thing that's going to be added to the list of things to do. Another thing that I'm looking at right now is I want to start selling prints of these photos. So I'm using Squarespace for my website right now, and there is a way to put a shop on there. My big concern is that I want to make sure that whatever is on there will, it'll print, ship directly to the person, but I don't want junk items coming out. I want bad prints, things like that. I want to make sure that it's quality stuff. If somebody's gonna order it, then. So I've got to vet a couple different places and see which ones work the best. And so that will be coming out. I've had several people already asking me for prints of some of these photos that I've been posting. And I really need to get that set up before the fall, because this fall, as the amount of, as migration season starts, as the amount of animals that are out here in these places increases, we're going to start getting some fantastic stuff. So somebody said, "Oh, Laura, yeah," she just said, "and calendars." Yes, we definitely need to get some calendars out too. Rachel had a good idea. Good idea to see some animal specific and themed apparel. I thought about that. For instance, Kevin out at Nerd has got the hands, "It's What's for Dinner" shirt. I've got that one. It's funny. I was wearing that when I got bitten by my biggest retic. I've got a picture laying around here somewhere. Oh, I've got the "Hands for Dinner" shirt on, and my hands wrapped up in paper towels and electrical tape where a snake got a hold of me, which is kind of classic. I don't know if that was, if the shirt made it happen. Maybe the snake saw it and read it and said, "Oh, hands are for dinner. Cool. We'll eat those tonight." But they did. Yeah, absolutely. Don't forget to get down, click the like button. Doesn't take anything but a little mouse stroke or a little poke. Piece of cake. And if you haven't subscribed to the channel yet and you're watching, by all means, jump down. Had a really good jump in views and subscribers here over the last day or so. So it's been really, really great. Love to see that. Love to see people that are getting in and starting to appreciate what we do here. So let's see. Yeah, the snake knew. The snake certainly did know. I'm gonna wait for a few more people to get on here because we've got some things to put out. Another show that's going to be going on this evening, and 10.1. We're actually at, what did it go to? Actually gained well over 100 since the video was put out about the taipan bite. Yeah, we're at 10,166 now. So it's good to see. Good to see. We've got some other stuff that I've got in the works that we'll be putting out over the next few days. Really working on getting the exposure out there. And this is one of those things where 10,000 subscribers was kind of a benchmark. When you first start a channel and you're spending weeks and weeks and weeks and months kind of looking at everything going, man, I wish I'd hurry up and hit this 1,000 subs and 4,000 hours of watch time so it get monetized. And then you finally hit that and you're like, woohoo, we're in the money now. And your first disbursement's $25. You're like, oh, okay, yeah. So I guess there's more to it. So yeah, I mean, that's kind of benchmark. You hit that first 1,000 subs, and I was like, okay, I'd like to get us to 10,000, get the community built up a little bit more. Next goal is to shoot straight up to 100,000, and we can certainly do it if you look at the growth rate. We certainly get it up there. So I know it's difficult because there's been so much stuff going on, and it's tough to get videos out every week. There's still a lot of stuff going on, but it's getting there slowly but surely. Fires light up, we put them out, and get things done. Cole was saying, great video I did about the taipan bite. I appreciate it. I was kind of, like I said in the video, I was kind of on the fence about that. That's why I went out on the Facebook and kind of asked a question to get what different people's input is on whether they thought I should do it or not. And when I was doing it, and when I was trying to figure it out, I got onto and I watched the podcast that Chandler did. Excuse me. I just scarfed down a bunch of food before getting on here because it's going to be a really late night. So, yeah. But yeah, I mean, I watched Chandler's stuff about it. I watched a couple other people putting some things out, and there was just a couple points that I didn't really see anybody else driving home. And stuff like the stuff that happened with Jeff, it's nothing new. We've been calling out people doing things like that for years. Me, about the time I really got into the community and started getting a voice, one of the first things that I jumped on was the live feeding videos. Just really, that puts us in a bad light. The torture of animals, the gladiatorship of feeding and making it that kind of grisly event. Just like I said, that was one of the first things I hit. And it's been cool to see that we managed to get enough attention drawn to that. And it's really subsided. We don't see a whole lot. I don't see a whole lot of that stuff. Maybe the algorithm knows not to feed it to me and it's going to everybody else. But I've been really encouraged. And like I said in the video, bad things are going to happen. We recognize who the really irresponsible and bad people are in a community. They get called out, they fight back. Something ultimately ends up happening. Either an escape or a bite or some kind of exposure from just really being terrible at, caring for your animals, stuff like that, animal abuse, whatever. I mean, everything ends up coming out in the wash. But we do a pretty good job of catching that and trying to raise awareness about it. Unfortunately, there's not anything we can do yet to force anybody's hand. There is, however, when we go over the USARK stuff here in a little bit, I seen where there's some new legislation on the table, and it's in respect to animal welfare stuff. So when we go over the USARK, I'm going to go ahead and pull that up. I'm not going to try and pull it all right off of memory. And of course, when new laws and regulations and stuff come out, everybody puckers up. It's like, oh my God, here we go. We're getting ready to lose our retics or whatnot. But I'm not 100% sure that this would be a bad thing. This may be one of the things, like when the Samson thing was going on. Everybody's like, I tried this, I tried that. Nobody would ever do anything about it. Who do I report it to? Blah, 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 all this other stuff. Well, maybe this legislation would be the vehicle that we need for situations like that, where if there is something like that, we can go, okay, this is who we call. They come in immediately, they do an inspection, and they do what they need to do. So that could be good. One thing, when we talk about the legislation and stuff and USARK getting involved and potential laws and things, kind of our knee-jerk reaction is to fight everything. Everything's bad. All regulations bad. And that's not always the case. Sometimes some of this regulation will actually work to our benefit. It's one of the things that Phil Goss really drives home, because he does have to be really diplomatic about this stuff in many instances when he's talking with people. And, it's not that we're against regulation. It's not that we're against reptile laws. We're against unfair and unreasonable and scientifically unjustified laws and regulations. If there's a good reason to do something, if it's not prohibitive and stomping all over the rights of keepers for no good reason, then, sometimes that stuff can be good. Our hands are tied as a community. Just like this Jeff Dumbassowitz, whatever his name was. People that approached him multiple times said, hey, the stuff you're putting out there is dangerous. The stuff you're doing is dangerous. You're putting us in a bad light. You're being a dumbass. Something bad's going to happen, and you're going to draw attention. It's going to hurt the whole community. And that's kind of the extent of what everybody could do, was just, say it to him. And of course, it fell on deaf ears. Didn't go anywhere. And, he had I guess he's got, I don't know, 10 or 30,000 or something like that subscribers on YouTube and stuff. But I mean, a lot of times, once people get those, certain kind of people following them, doesn't make any difference what they do. They'll, if people can do the most rotten and dirty things that you can think of, and people will still follow them and support them. So, that kind of pressure doesn't always work. But, again, we'll look at that later. I won't get off on that tangent. Let's see. Do I have any interest in building scrapping enclosures? I'll nominate you for the next Stake Discovery build off. Funny you mentioned that. Because, I mean, that's, if we're ever able to get moved, if these setbacks will stop showing up and we start getting a couple steps ahead here, get into a bigger place, that's one of the things I'm looking for in the next place that I move everything into, is an area for a shop. Because right now, all of my tools, all my power tools, all my construction, everything that I've got is like Jenga all over one side of the reptile room. And it's just kind of all stashed someplace. So if I need to build anything, I've got no room inside. I can't run the saws inside with the animals. I take everything outside, build it. It's a pain. So I want to get a shop put together so that I can, start building enclosures, not just for myself, but, as people, I can just start doing small scale builds for people and stuff like that as time permits. And especially if the channel grows up, the Patreon builds up enough to the point where, I get to the point where I can ditch the day job, then of course, that building enclosures will be something I'll do on the side. Because one, I like to do it. I build furniture and stuff like that too. I did. I built most of the enclosures that I've got here. It's a really simple process, and I can do more elaborate stuff, which I want to do. But it just takes space and money. So since the unexpected termination at work, it really kind of put a stranglehold on what we can do moving forward for the time being. Temporary setback. So yeah, on that note, talking about building enclosures, the local zoo out here has got an entire new area that it's building. They've got a North America area and an Africa area right now. They're working on an Asia area. It's all under construction right now. They're still doing the finished grading and whatnot, so the buildings are up. Of course, with an Asia area, there should be reticulated pythons there. They've got an ad out for somebody to come out and help design enclosures for them. And I'm really working on, over the last couple of days, I've tried to get in contact with the curator out there, trying to get a meeting with somebody, because if there's any way of me getting involved with that at the zoo, I got no problem working on the enclosure side of it and stuff like that too. But there's so much other stuff I can bring to the table as far as big constrictors in that part of the zoo, as far as educational programs and stuff like that, and handling and demonstrations and whatnot. So it would be really amazing if I can get the right contact out there and get involved in that. Like I said, I'd start working on the enclosures. Cool. But they start moving the big snakes in there. I'll develop an educational program, a show and stuff like that they can, right now they charge people like $5 to feed the giraffes. They can charge people an extra $5, $10, $20, whatever they want to do, handling sessions with a snake or something, where I take a few people in and control a well-socialized snake, let them interact with it and stuff, and have that snake experience. That would be cool. That would be right up my alley. If I could get a job doing that at the zoo, that would be great. And, with the photography thing and the videography thing that I'm working on, start doing promotional materials for them too. So we'll see. Ideally, we've all got our pipe dreams. We'll see if I can touch base with the right people. But I think if I can just sit down and get in front of them and kind of pitch what I can do and some of the ideas that I've got, it may be a pretty good thing. So yeah, if anybody's watching this at any point and you're familiar with anybody out at the Asheboro Zoo that may be interested in talking with somebody about stuff like that, by all means, send them my way. they can contact me any way they like. But in the meantime, we're going to continue to work on this stuff. Oh, yeah. In regards to the Zoom call, too, for those of you guys that are new here, aren't familiar, if this is your first time popping on, for all our contributing Patreon members, we do a Zoom meetup call immediately after the live stream. And actually tonight, I typically send all the contributing members out a recurring link for this. Tonight, I opened it up to everybody, even all the free members on Patreon. So anybody that's involved with the Patreon at all, there's a link there. I sent it out earlier today. So if anybody joins between now and 7:30, yeah, between now and an hour from now, I'll just have to check and send out another email. But or actually, if you do join, you might be able to just see it in the thing. I don't know. Either way, if there's anybody that joins between now and then, if for some reason you can't find it anywhere, get on Facebook and send me a direct message on there, and I'll be able to get it to you. But I'm sure there was something else that I was getting ready to say after that, and I just completely spaced it off. So I do that. Once I get started talking about plans, I mean, my mind's already working 15 steps ahead on like, okay, what can I do with this enclosure? What can I do with this program? So it kind of draws thoughts from the other side. But oh yeah, it'll get there. I mean, that's one of the things, when I wasn't concerned with growing the channel quickly. My big concern was I just wanted it to be genuine, I don't want to have to come on here and fake being somebody else or, talk about things that I don't want to talk about or something just to get people's attention. I'd much rather just be myself, talk about the stuff that we want to talk about, and the people that want to jump on board are more than welcome to. The people that don't want to, don't have to. And it takes a little bit slower to grow that way, but I think it's more, and there's a word that I'm looking for that escapes me right now, but more genuine, more natural, and you get a better community that way. One thing I'm really happy with is in the whole 3 years that I've been doing this, in one of these live streams, I've only had to ban somebody from a chat one time in 3 years for being a shithead. So I mean, that's pretty good. It really speaks volumes for the quality of folks that hang out here, and you guys all rock, and definitely appreciate it. Definitely appreciate it. Hey, Tamethyst, how are you doing? There's my favorite little huggy picture. Love it. Tara's going to be reeling you guys in. Tara's going to be my Joe Hull. For those of you guys that keep up with Reach Out Reptiles, Joe is the, they call him G.I. Joe. He's a sale manager up there. So you do something like last year when we went to Retic Fest, he was just, selling snakes left and right. Yeah, he's really good. He's a good dude. But Tara's going to be my Joe. She's going to start bringing everybody over to the Patreon. She says, for those of you guys who can't read it, she's like, oh my God, if you aren't a Patreon member, do it. The Zoom calls are so worth it. We get to know each other even better. It's like a friend party. Zoom, zoom, zoom. It is really cool. And hey, there's some other folks that we hang out with on Patreon, Betty and Greg. Some more great folks from out in Utah. High Desert Pythons, I think it is. Yeah, good folks. Seen some, Greg does like Civil War and pre-Civil War reenactments and stuff like that. So if you follow him on Facebook, you'll see some pretty cool stuff with these guys are running around like it's 300 years ago with muskets. Yeah, it's pretty cool. Pretty cool. So good to see you guys. But yeah, man, the Zoom meetups are really, really good. And I do my best to hang on as long as I can. Even on nights when I'm exhausted or I got to get up real early in the morning to go shoot or something like that. I'll get on there and I'll be like, all right, guys, I'm good for an hour. And then I got to go to bed. 3 hours later, I'm doing this. Everybody's still going. So I have to make somebody else moderator and go to sleep. So yeah, it's a pretty good time, man. And it really does. It helps the channel out a lot, especially under the current circumstances. And I could really use a whole lot more Patreon supporters. And like I said, every Saturday we get on there and chat and show off animals and stuff like that and just share knowledge. It's really fun. So, hey, Mike, how you doing, man? You're checking in from Texas Roadhouse. Outstanding. Instantly made me think about how much I really like a steak right now. So, hey, Hog, how you doing, man? Reptiles of research channel. Oh yeah, Rachel was talking about that reptile channel thing is that's I don't even know if they're still active. I know Kevin went after them really hard. So yeah, I don't even want to give them any views or traction or anything. They're pretty cruel over there, and they try and make it sound educational and National Geographical, but it's pretty sickening, really, pretty twisted. Oh no, Tamla Center 23-year-old king snake passed away this week. Man, I mean, 23 years old is a good. It's a good run. That's the thing, man. When I haven't lost many animals, but the ones that I have lost, at least I know they had good lives. They got to, the first prairie dog that I had was in just absolutely disgusting, terrible conditions. Had a hip injury, had teeth problems. He didn't have the capacity to wear his teeth down on his own. So we had to go in there and cut them all the time because they'll continue to grow and those teeth will just grow right into their skull when they're like that. So you got to keep them trimmed down. So he was on death's door. His partner that was in the cage with him where I got him from had died not long before, but got him home and he still was struggling, with the hip. He had a little bit of a limp and stuff like that, but I think we made him comfortable and he lived out the rest of his days and in as much comfort as we could provide. And yeah, it's always sad to see him go, but you sit back and you think about the alternative of what would have happened to him had you not had him, had somebody else had him. So that kind of helps. Yeah, and that's something that people don't think about too. Rachel was saying, what a special relationship you must have had. If you don't keep snakes and you hear somebody say that, you're like, you're crazy. What kind of relationship you can have with a snake? I know I would be completely destroyed. When Monty goes, or when Tigger goes, or when Niles goes. I mean, those are the three that I've been, the tightest with and worked with the most. And I think I've got the most intelligence. So it's really going to mess me up when we lose them. But again, it's one of them things. Such is life. We're all going to go there at some point. Hey, Chris, good to see you, man. Yeah, it has been a while. And, I think we've got enough people on here right now to let you guys know. After this, of course, we've got the Patreon Zoom meetup going on. And at 9:30 Eastern time, for those of you guys that know Gary Tarpley, he runs a channel, Constricted and Addicted. Him and I started talking before he got into retics. He was keeping boas primarily, and we started talking about reticulated pythons. He got started keeping them and just completely fell in love with them and has gotten several of them from some really cool breeders. He's got some really awesome animals. He's got a really great approach to working with his animals and teaching people about them. And he started doing the educational stuff too on YouTube, putting out some videos periodically on, handling and just demonstrating how cool these snakes are to work with. So anyway, so he's a really good guy. He's also a heavy metal musician. He's lives out in California. He's an older fella, but he will rip up a guitar, man. Yeah, highly skilled. He's got a really cool band, a really cool sound. And so anyway, it's going to be him, Chris McVicker from New Shed Serpents, Lucas Bagnera from the Retic Lounge, Lab Exotics, and Nicole Tisdale from Lady Tiss Exotics. So all of us are going to sit down at 9:30 tonight. I'm actually going to pull up the link here real quick. I'm going to pin this link up top because I want everybody to be able to see it and go to it and click it and just hold that window off to the side. I would really like to get all of our folks from Intrepid over there and, support Gary, get on, hang out, chat with all of us. I know you guys don't see me interacting with anybody in the community hardly at all. I think the last time we really had anybody on here was when Bob Bledsoe came on, which was a great night. I could have talked with him for hours and hours. But yeah, it'll be a lot of fun, and it'll be on Gary's channel. He'll be happy to see all of us come over and blow his channel up, blow his chat box up. So let me see really quick if I can. Where's that? Here it is. Here is the link. Put this right here. So I'm going to keep pointing out. I got to get all the way down to the bottom of the. Okay. I'll pin that as soon as I get down and I get caught up on all the comments. I know that'll happen at some point. Cool. Yeah, John, I just seen that when I was on my way home from the dam earlier. I watched John's video that he put out about it too. John over at Tipping Scales is another one, man. If you guys aren't following him, I'll definitely go over to his YouTube, look up Tipping Scales, get subscribed to his channel. He does a really good job. His intro and all that stuff's really cool. The way he does his videos, and he's really level-headed too, which is really nice to see. He does commentary. He'll do commentary on anything, and he does a really good job of being pretty diplomatic about it. So yeah, it was pretty good. Let's see. Gloria, how you doing? New River, Arizona. Hey, there you go. Yeah, I know, like the whole Western United States is on fire. So believe it or not, that actually does cross my mind every time I hear somebody's from like Nevada or Arizona or California or something. I'm like, yeah, you guys doing okay? You're not choking on the smoke out there, yeah? It's scary, man. If you look at a map of where all the wildfires are in the country, yeah, pretty scary stuff. Yeah. Yes. And you know what? I don't even know why I didn't think about that. I got so fixated on the reticulated python idea that, yeah, they've got to have Asian water monitors in here. And that would be another thing that I could work with too. But that would be really cool. That would be really cool. So I don't know if any of you guys have any pull in the zoo community, then call the Asheboro Zoo, North Carolina Zoo, and tell them I know a reptile educator would be perfect out there. Let's see. Okay, I gotta hurry up and catch up on these things. Let's see. Erica's in typo land. She says, no excuses tonight because it's free. Yeah. Oh, cool. Hey, Candy, good to see you. You're awesome, and I see you being huge. I'm hoping to see more from you. I jumped on so fast when I saw the live stream. That's awesome, man. I appreciate it. Definitely appreciate it, man. You guys, I'll tell you what, at times when you do, I don't know, how can I phrase this? I say October will be 3 years on the channel, and I wanted to at least put out a video a week. And I found myself getting to the point I did really good on that, a video a week, sometimes 2. There was a couple times I put out 3, but it can be difficult when you're working within the confines of what I work with here, with such a small collection, such a small space, and really such a small topic, because we're really just talking about reading behavior and handling and stuff like that. It can be really difficult to come up with content. And there was one period about 1.5 years ago where I took like a month or 2 off and really didn't post anything. And it just, it's comments like these, like Carrie's saying right there. It's really, really motivating. And it's stuff like that is the whole reason why I stuck with YouTube, and I'm sticking with it and still going. Because I've gotten some really cool messages from folks, a lot of people that get a lot of benefit from it. It makes me happy. And I heard a quote not too long ago that really rang true with me, is that it says laziness is the worst form of disrespect you can show those who support you. There's a lot of truth to that. And it really, such an awesome community. It motivates me to keep going and keep trying to come up with different stuff. It's one reason why I'm really happy that the whole wildlife photography thing is kind of getting shuffled in a little bit, because it's a really good way for me to balance the content creation stuff. It's a really good way for me to balance not getting burnt out. Because it can be physically taxing, if you're packing on 30-40 pounds of gear and strolling off through the woods and stuff like that, like I used to do easily years ago. But you get out, you're out in the woods, you're all by yourself, it's nothing but you and the animals, and it really does a lot to balance out the whole thing. And so I think that's going to be really good. And there was one other thing that I was going to say too. What was it? I don't know. My mind just pictured the last site that I was at out on the woods and how cool it was. I'm going to have to figure out a way to just have like a little recorder or camera or something running off my brain, so I can keep going back. What was I going to say? But, organic. That's the word that I was looking for earlier. I was talking about things growing naturally on the channel and being genuine organic. That's the word. So thank you. Okay, I'm getting way far behind on comments now. Alex, good to see you. I am doing well, sir. Thank you. Hope you are. Caesar, good evening, sir. Megan, hey, everybody keeps popping in on me now, so I've got to make sure that I'm going nice and slow. Oh. Alex says he saw a Nile monitor bronx for you. It was really sad. Down at the Ashboro Zoo, I was walking through where they've got their Komodo dragon at, and Niles is bigger. I was like, man, every time I hear somebody's got a Komodo dragon, I go and look at it because I want to see the monster 10, 12-foot lizard. And I've yet to find one bigger than my Nile monitor. Their heads are bigger, snout's bigger, just because of the physiology of them is different. But I mean, from a length perspective, Niles is bigger than him. So, hey, Betty and Greg, thank you so much. Super chat. We love the channel. I appreciate it. That is why we keep doing it. Let's see. Yeah. Thank you so much, Rachel. Yeah, the super chat in Clint's voice. That's another thing for like a year I've been saying I'm going to find a video of Clint doing the super chat and making him pop up on the screen. I'll tell you. Hey, Jessica. Jessica from Carolina Reptile Center. Good to see you. Tomorrow, I'm trying to think. I've got a vision enclosure here that I've got to get out to you. And I'm thinking about going out to the Carolina Raptor Center. Is not too far from you, I don't think. And I'm thinking about taking the camera out there and doing some photography at the Raptor Center. So, of course, I'm going to be online here talking for hours tonight, especially because of the thing we got going on afterwards. But I'll shoot you a text on Instagram in the morning, and we'll figure out a place to link up so I can drop that off to you. So, let's see. Tara, super chat. She says, my turn. Appreciate it, guys. You guys rock. Rock. Let's see. Q. All right. See, I'm getting way far behind on that's one thing, especially for those of you guys that are kind of new here. I sit in on live streams and stuff too, the various ones. But the one thing I do that's pretty different from a lot of them that I see is I really do sit here and scroll through and really just try and make the whole episode about, going through here and interacting, making sure that I'm not missing questions and the things that you guys got to say, because if I've got anything to say, I can just take the camera outside, downstairs, wherever. I can make a video of it and I can publish it. And then it's just me bumping my gums. These live streams, I like to interact with you guys and find out what's on your mind. So yeah, I will get behind on the comments. Sometimes it takes me a hot minute to get through them. But Ethan, I'm glad you was able to catch us too. Thank you. Tara knows Gary. Yeah, Gary's good people. Ezreal, how you doing? And I'm so underrated and give great info. I really appreciate that, man. Really appreciate that. There's another fan of Gary's. Yeah, Gary's good, folks. He does a lot of stuff with USARK too. He does a lot of there it is. God, I forgot all about that. I don't want to do that. Now I just got to figure out how to pin this comment. I know I can do it. Where's it at? I guess I got to do it on YouTube. There we go. Okay. Okie doke. So, yeah, you guys should see the link up there now. Apparently, I can't pin links and pin comments and stuff like that off of StreamYard. I got to do it on the YouTube channel. So, the link that I just put up there is for 9:30 Eastern. I'm gonna have a reticulated python roundtable. Myself and four other keepers are going to be on talking about retic stuff, localities and mainlands, and I'm sure there'll be a lot of other stuff going on. So, 2 juvenile gators have now reached 5 feet. It's awesome. I really do miss working with crocodilians. They are awesome. I love them. Hey, you made it. Good to see ya. See. I think Erica's trying to insinuate that you're late. Hey, Sam, how you doing, man? Oh, I know, it's easy to forget. Let's see. All right. Mm-hmm. Yeah, John. Yeah, Nicole was saying that she likes how John can bring up difficult topics and do it without it looking like a hit piece. That's the way I tried to approach the video that I put out yesterday. Everybody knows about the guy. There's no reason to just sit here and call names and beat him up. Sometimes in the course of conversation, I'll call him a dumbass or something like that, but that's just, it's word association. You think of the person, he's a dumbass, and of course, conversation, if it slips out, it slips out. But the whole point of the video was really just to talk about how, whether we like it or not, somebody screws up like that, it can and sometimes does impact the entire community, whether it's locally or nationally or all of us or some of us or none of us. It's always, there can always be negative repercussions. So although we're not personally responsible for that person's actions, as a community, we end up taking responsibility for it, whether it's right or not. So we do got to be proactive as much as we can. And like I said in the video last night too, I mean, we want to be proactive and we want to stay on top of stuff and make sure that people aren't doing things that are going to get themselves or the community hurt. But we don't want to do we don't want to start crusades and just start everybody that has a different opinion going out and bludgeoning them, and stuff like that, because that just makes everything toxic. It's just a bad setting all the way around. The way I look at it is if something's worth going after, then you should be able to articulate exactly what is objectively harmful, provide the evidence for it, and provide alternatives. You don't call out a solution unless you're prepared to put the work in, or call out a problem unless you're ready to put in the work to develop a solution as well. So as long as things are done in a positive light, and it's just not people getting aloof and arrogant and saying, well, this is my way and that's it. I mean, there are certain things that I will hit on that with, like the live feeding thing. It's objectively, demonstrably better to feed frozen thawed. That's what veterinarians recommend. You can look, you can draw up the simple pros and cons list. What can happen with this? What can happen with that? It's there, there's an objective point to be made there. So yeah, I dig my heels in on that. I stand firm. Other stuff, if I can't, objectively say there's, specific things that are harmful, then at that point, it's my opinion. My opinion is worth just as much as anybody else's opinion, and I might say it, I might not, but I'm not gonna really dig my heels in on it. So, hey Chase, listening on the drive home from a bachelor party. So be safe. Oh, cool. Lori was saying my husband behavior and handling video is how I found me, and the USARK work. I wish I had time to do more USARK work. I haven't seen a whole lot going on with their YouTube channel. I haven't seen a whole lot of videos coming out with that. I would have thought things would have picked up a little bit, but I really don't see them being very active right now. And I really don't. I don't want to see them lose steam and lose momentum, because they need all of the support that they can get. Let's see. Okay. Now I'm just kind of cruising through here and trying to herping to showcase Israel was asking, have I thought about just taking my phone and going herping to showcase the animals in my area when I photograph? Yeah, I actually the coolest thing happened. I was out photographing some ducks, getting some bird and flight photography at this one lake locally. And I was sitting there right on the water's edge with my camera out, waiting on him to land and all that other cool stuff. And I see something wiggling around in the water. And he ends up, I'll, as I'm going through the rest of these comments, I'll start looking for the photo, see if I can find it. But it was a little water snake with a snake or with a fish in its mouth. It was about 4 times as big as it was wide. 4 times as big as a snake was wide. And he comes dragging it up into a hole, and he sits there for a little while until he gets tired of me watching him mess with it, and he just carries it back off into the water. I'll see. Actually, I know I got the video somewhere too. I'll see if I can find it in the meantime. So, but other than that, I'm a terrible herper. I can find my reptiles because I know where their enclosure is at. If I go outside looking for reptiles, I ain't finding none. I'm really for some reason I have little to no luck finding stuff. Just the regular stuff. I'll see little anoles running around, and rarest occasion I'll run across like a green snake or a water snake or something like that. But so I have everything prepared to capture them if I do run across them, but I haven't had a whole lot of luck. So I do know some people close to me that are pretty good herpers though, but they seem pretty busy. So they're kind of hard to link up with. Okay. Let's see. Sounds good. Just send a text. Raptor Center's close. Okay. Bringing a baby copperhead to the interview. Oh, outstanding. Cool. Yeah, Jessica does a lot of rescue work. Here lately, she's been doing a lot of rescues of the rat snakes that are eating the ceramic eggs that people leave in their chicken huts. It's so sad to see. You get those things, the snakes eat those ceramic eggs, and then they can't digest them, they can't move them, and it'll ultimately kill them if they don't go in there and surgically remove it. So. Jordy said, my brother too, huge hug, brother, and give Silent Bob a light head noogie on the head. I should probably get him out. He needs to get out. He's actually been, Bob has been funny. For those of you guys that aren't familiar, Silent Bob is my Sri Lankan python. He's the one that I did the handling series on how to tame down a vicious snake. When I first got him, he was absolute terror. He was terrified of people. You take him out, he'd bite you 10, 15 times just as soon as look at you. So I recorded every handling session, starting with the very first time I handled him. By the 10th handling session, no musking, no biting. He was just chill. And so I think that was a really good series to kind of help folks, especially with the smaller snakes, that you don't have to worry about the bites for, to kind of see how you can bring them around. But yeah, he's doing really good. And here, the last week or so, I'll actually be going up and getting close to his enclosure and stuff, and I'll see him coming up to the glass and just see him going nuts with his tongue. So yeah, it was. It's been good. Yeah, it's been good. It's a valid question under the circumstances. Jessica was asking, she says, Tim, do we need tighter regulations regarding venomous keeping? I'd love to hear your thoughts. We had a big discussion about that today. It's hard to say. I would think, here's the thing, venomous keeping isn't as simple as just venomous and non-venomous, because there's different different snakes have got a different different level of medical significance to their envenomations. Hognose mangrove snakes, copperheads, rattlesnakes, cobras, taipans. There's different types of venoms. There's different potency of the venoms and so forth. So it's, I mean, if you go, okay, we're going to ban venomous snakes across the board. That's hognose and mangroves. Garter snakes are venomous, if I'm not mistaken. But I mean, there's got to be a lot of common sense applied to it. I think possibly one of the better ways to go about that might be is if you've got a venomous species, and see, this is another thing too, because I know a lot of places have restrictions on local species where you could import a king cobra and have that there with no problem. But if copperheads are local to your area, you can't have a copperhead, which makes not a lot of sense to me. But I think it should really, the stuff should be gauged on the lethality and the availability of antivenom. If you're talking about something like in this case, the taipan, where we've had a total of 3 bites in the history of the country by one of those snakes, and you've got really sparse antivenom, then maybe that's one of those things where they establish the regulation saying, you've got to have this number of hours of training with a licensed professional or something like that. Inspections, whatever the case may be. It's hard to say, man. It's one of those things where it really needs to be discussed. When we're talking about venomous snakes, I think medical personnel need to be involved in it. I think emergency response personnel need to be involved with it. Biologists, keepers, of course, and professional handlers. Everybody needs to sit down and really go over the nuances of everything and figure out what the best way is to do it. I know that the person sitting in a city council that's never touched a snake before in their life has no business making any kind of laws or regulations about which reptiles should or should not be kept. And some places will try and push that stuff through, but I really think that some kind of regulation is reasonable, but it needs to be established in a reasonable way by people that know things. They can triage it so that every level of it makes sense. And I think if they do that too, the reptile community would probably be perfectly fine with it. Because the alternative to that is, just like when we had the king cobra escape from Raleigh out here. Somebody who had been inspecting his collection, maybe they would have caught the mistake that allowed that snake to escape. Maybe they would have found it sooner because they would have realized it was gone sooner. I don't know, man. There's a number of things, but I mean, I would much rather them discuss sensible regulations instead of just banning them outright because they don't know what to do. We got to realize too, as reptile keepers, that's, this used to be the land of the free and the home of the brave, and we're no longer brave. Americans are afraid of our own shadow. That's why so many people are so easily misled, because it's easy to frighten us. And reptiles, to somebody that doesn't know anything about reptiles, is easily frightened. And what do you do when you're frightened about something? You want it away from you. So, I don't know. It's a deep, deep subject. Yeah. Caesar was talking about the python hunts. I would have no desire to go on a python hunt. I have no desire to kill a snake for any reason. I understand they need to be culled out of there. I understand it, but I don't want to be the one doing it. Not at all. Let's see. Where are we at? Okay, everybody's telling me I need a co-host. I do. Let's see. Canelo fight. I don't watch fights anymore. I don't do anything but look at them and get mad. One, because I can't fight like that anymore because I'm old and my body's broken. And two, I do the armchair quarterback thing. I'm really, really bad about that too, since I was a combat engineer in the Army, and we did a lot with explosives and demolition. So I sit back in a movie or something like that, and somebody puts a little quarter stick of C4 in a car and it blows up, and I'm the first one that's sitting back going, "Well, it doesn't look like that." The same thing. Same thing when I'm watching a fight. I'm just sitting there on the edge of my seat going, "Come on, dumbasses. Nobody showed you what an overhand right is? Get them." So, okay. So if let's see. Would I be on board with yeah, I have no problem at all with permitting. Permitting is completely cool in my opinion, if it's reasonable. It shouldn't cost you $1,000. It shouldn't cost you $500. It shouldn't cost you $100 to get a snake permit. Just like you said, even if there was to come up with a little test or something like that, just to say, what's the difference between a colubrid and a lapid? What type of venom does a lapid have? Yeah, I don't know. I mean, just a general knowledge test, and maybe even do a walkthrough with animal control or something like that, and say, "Hey, man, here's my enclosures, here's my locks, here's my doors that remain closed on my enclosed reptile room. So if somebody does get out of their enclosure, they can't escape the room. I can find them, I can put them back, all that stuff. If you keep venomous, that whatever they need to do. I mean, I've got nothing at all against permitting." Okay, where we at? Okay, I think I finally made it to the end. Woohoo! Okay, let me get Bob out because I have no co-host, and I've not had a co-host the whole time. Hey, buddy, I see you. You okay? Wish you guys could see this. I keep sphagnum moss on the half of their enclosures over here. Kind of keeps the humidity up and stuff. The half paper and half sphagnum. And he's underneath the moss. There's a little rock in there. And his head's just kind of resting up on the rock. And he's looking at me. Hey, bud. You gonna come out and see me? You gonna come see me? Come on. Come on. I know, you're always going to go at me when I take you out. Come on, buddy. There you go. Ah. Somebody's locked on. I actually haven't had him out on here in a little while. Come on, bud. You good to go? Okay. So yeah, this is Bob, Silent Bob. He came with a J, so we had Jay and Silent Bob. And I don't know, I should probably switch the names around because Jay, the Orange Glow retic, is very quiet, never hisses. And little Bob right here wants to yell all the time. He's a really vocal little guy, especially when I'm first getting him out. He gets really vocal. I'm trying to sit down here so you guys can maybe see him a little bit better. Yeah, this guy kind of became world famous through the series that I did with him because, man, when I first got him, he was a friggin' terror. He hated me. He hated the microphone for sure. He just wanted to fight anything and everything. He's bitten me in the face on a live stream before, haven't you? We've gotten past that now, haven't we? At least you don't bite me no more because you're a good boy. I would have never been able to do this when I got him. He would literally like bit me in the nose and hung on and all that stuff. Now you're just going to sit there and look at me, huh? But yeah, 10 handling sessions and got him to where he is now. Okay. What did I miss? Oh, there we go. Hey, Jason, how you doing, man? Oh, yeah, that's what I got to do. We've got to talk USARK stuff because something came up. I'm changing name. Yeah. Let's see. Oh, yeah. I am not going to be changing names. This is Bob. I will have to add that prefix to it. It's not so silent, Bob. Yeah, he's looking better because he's looking bigger. I mean, he is putting a little bit of size on since I got him. Not a lot. He's not a fast grower, but I mean, he's eating well now. We went a long time with him not wanting to eat. He would not touch food. He was terrified of everything. And after working with him for a little while, and that's another thing too. You hear this a lot from people when they're getting new snakes. It's like, man, it's been a week. He won't eat. He was supposed to eat. It's been 2 weeks. He won't eat. 2 months, maybe 2 or 3 months it took for me to get Bob to eat, for him to take his first meal. And then as soon as he did, it's been a piece of cake ever since. So, oh, yeah, that's right. Squirrel. USARK.org. USARK.org. I need to just hotkey this so I don't have to hit and peck and type. I haven't read this whole thing all the way through yet. And if you would chill out for a second, dude, what you doing? What you doing, you good boy? So he really enjoys his time out now. It's so cool. It's one of the things that I love about working with these animals, man, is that you can get them and they're completely terrified. And just after spending some time with them, you get them over that initial hurdle, you spend some time with them and they calm right down. And it's the most rewarding thing. It's great. I love it. Share screen. Where we at? There he is. Let's share that one. And let's fix my screen. Get that right. Okay. For those of you guys that are new to the channel, I go over USARK stuff every Saturday. If you're not familiar with USARK, that is the organization that looks for reptile laws, and not just reptile laws, but any regarding animals from DNRs and things like that. Looks for the laws that are being proposed, all local, state, federal stuff. They find the stuff that's buried in 900 pages of text, hidden with different bills. They identify it, they research it, they summarize it, they give us the links, they give us a summary of what it does or will do, it gives us points of contact. Sometimes it'll give us form letters to email, the email addresses, all of the things that we need to do in order to educate ourselves on what's trying to be done, whether it's a ban or a bad law or a restriction or something. Very instrumental. They've done a lot of good. So if you're not a USARK member, it's not that bad. The basic membership's like $40 a year. You add to their numbers, you get a t-shirt out of it. And, you get the alerts, which are really important. Sometimes I've got a full worldwide call to action on some of this stuff. And they win a lot. They win a surprising amount. So this latest one, federal herp regulations, and I'm not going to read it. Everybody can, I strongly encourage everybody to go to USARK.org, look at this latest one. There's a press release on it that they've got. The long and short of it is the amendment to the Animal Welfare Act that will include cold-blooded species of animals. It adds reptiles and amphibians as animals under the act. I guess it was defined differently previously, meaning that the U.S. Department of Agriculture is now going to have to develop rules relating to herps. So basically, the USDA would inspect facilities with snakes. Businesses would need to comply with the regulations, things like that. So I guess, according to this, too, the USDA had recently begun inspecting aviculturists, bird breeders. And apparently the bill has been signed to the House Agricultural Committee. And we know how that goes. I mean, right now, the House of Representatives is completely neutered and half lost. Maybe here in a couple months, that'll change. And we'll get some sensible people in there. But in the meantime, again, we've got to keep up with this stuff. And USARK has really been instrumental in letting everybody know. There's no way I would have known about this bill. I don't spend my time reading through proposed legislation and stuff. So it's invaluable having an organization around that has lawyers, lobbyists, researchers to do all this stuff for us. Huge help. Let's see, on August 15th, they put there's some other amendments up in Illinois. Okay, and there's a borough up in PA that's got something going on as well. So, yeah, they've actually added some things since since I've looked at it last. So I need to do this too. It's one of the really good things about me, at least being disciplined enough to open this up and look at it and talk about it every week, because that prevents me from missing anything too, which is really important. I mean, I think this is something I wish we seen more of, man. I think every creator, if you do anything about reptiles at all, you need to be keeping up with USARK, or at least doing something like this where whoa, what do we do here? Okay. Let me stop sharing that. Let's do this and let's fix that. And yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah, I see what I did. That's funny. The infinite mirror trick on the computer. So yeah, I mean, I think everybody should be every time they make a video at least saying something about it. So, but we'll see. Okay. U.S. animals. Okay. God, am I really all caught up with everything? I think I am. Awesome. And almost right on time, too. Let me see something. Do we have... Now, I know, talking about... this is audience participation time. I've got 2 videos that I know I need to make coming up. One of them is going to be, I want to do an explanation of the Nile monitor bite that I took. I actually happened to catch that on video. And what was I going to show you guys? I was going to look up a picture of the fish that I seen at the lake. Move you off of here. But so I've got that. I want to go over what to expect if you get a Nile monitor bite. Talk about how to manage it some. Show what one actually looks like, because he got me. Got me right here. And hung on for a little while. But so that's one video that I want to put out, and I've got to put out another one in a snake behavior series about the thinking and exploration mode. Showing these animals in that mode. And I'm really trying to find something to really discuss during that. But I mean, if you really break it down to its nuts and bolts and simplify it, it's like, okay, you put the snake down there, look at them. Yeah, they're happy. They're safe. Cool. Video over. So I've got to find a way of making that a little bit more detailed. Maybe we'll talk about, I don't know. I think maybe I'll go into a little bit of hook training there too. Just, we've talked about all the other states and frames of mind. So do a little bit about hook training and getting them out and then just watching them. Bob's right here. Bob's head is right there because he's hiding. He's being camera shy. Oh, there we go. Yeah, I didn't have to bend all the way out of the chair. He's right there. You're gonna go. Hey, you're on camera whether you want to be or not. So we'll do it like this. Don't cuss at me. Don't bite me either. This is the exact same scenario almost that when he did bite me in the face on a live stream. He was sitting there and I looked over at him and he was cocked back just like that. And I was like, don't bite me. As soon as I looked back at the computer, looked back at the camera, man, nailed me. So, but I think we're past that, aren't we? Are you good? Are you going to try and bite me again? Are you good? He's just mad because I turned him towards the camera. He doesn't want to be on tonight. So, make a video about poop? Nah, probably not. Oh, yeah. Yeah, Sam was saying you just want to know. Yeah, I get used to when I've got these guys, a lot of them like to get up in the chair. Some of them will stay up there like him forever. And other ones will start taking off across the room. So looks like he might be wanting to. I think I'm stressing out Tara. She's waiting for Bob to nail me. Gotta love it. He is. He's camera shy. But anyway, that's kind of what I was talking about. Those are the next two videos that I want to put out. Something else that I was thinking about too. And I do know that over the course of the next month or two, I'm going to be, like if you guys may have seen the wildlife photography video that I put out, the one that starts out with just looking out over the lake and the rain and all that. And I compiled some of the video footage that I put together. It was pretty cool. So I am going to put another one of those out, but the only footage that I'm going to use is the stuff that I'm getting from now forward. So I want to get like some bald eagle hunting footage and stuff like that, some better osprey stuff in there. I want to get as dramatic and as awesome as I can and put together another video. So that video will be coming out at some point, but I got to wait until I get up enough good footage. So, I'd like to keep a couple of those videos coming out every couple months and eventually get good enough. Maybe somebody will notice it and say, hey, man, you want to come do nature videography for me? I'm like, okay, cool. Where you at? Got to be close enough that I don't have to abandon my animals. Reptile first aid emergency kits. Yeah. Here's my first aid kit. This is a roll of paper towels, and I got like 10 rolls of electrical tape downstairs. I mean, oddly enough, that's and spray Listerine. I got a spray bottle full of Listerine. And he is cocked back and just staring at me. Look at that snake. He hasn't bitten me in a long time. And if he comes around and pops me in the back of the head, we're going to have words. No, I mean, first aid kits for reptiles are really pretty easy. A snake bite, even from a 14, 16-foot snake, shouldn't be bad. It shouldn't be anything that you've really got to do anything more to than just spray it down with disinfectant, wash it with soap and water, put a compress on it, put a bandage on it for a little while. It doesn't take them long to stop bleeding typically. If you manage them right. If you manage it wrong and you just start ripping them away, it's time to go to the hospital because you're going to need stitches and they're probably going to need to pull some teeth out of your arm. Kind of a similar thing with monitor lizards. The first aid kit's going to be the same as it would be for any other scratch, cut, or abrasion. The spray bottles of Listerine, that's like the universal magic sauce that I keep here. So in between working with animals or something like that, I use to disinfect my hands. I spray it, disinfect the enclosures with it, disinfect food bowls, water bowls. If I get bit, that's what I use to disinfect my arms with, and then wrap them up with paper towels and electrical tape for an hour, and then they're good. So yeah, if he bites and wraps, I know that really is. I mean, I'm not really big on the bite videos and stuff like that, but in a situation like this, if he was to come at me and like bite my ear and wrap me up, yeah, that would be really funny. I would immediately put that out as a video. What are you doing? Yeah. See, bearing in mind that this is the same animal that was absolutely terrified when I got him. Now he just wants to keep hanging out. You good? You're just going to hang out right up there. He's trying to read my mind through osmosis. He's turned into such a good boy. Oh, let's see. What was I going to say? Yeah, there we go. Yeah. I mean, I don't know, man. The stuff's not that bad, really. I mean, it's really no different than, a little scratch or a paper cut or splinter or whatever the case may be. It's really not bad. I mean, I did maintain 85% average in Army Special Forces medical school. So, I mean, I do know some trauma stuff. But, I mean, for first aid, the nuts and bolts of the whole thing is you save red blood cells and prevent infection. So if you get hurt and you're bleeding a lot, you put as much pressure on it as you can and you call an ambulance. Anything short of that, if you think you need stitches, go to the doctor as soon as you can, get stitches. If it doesn't look like it needs stitches, and disinfectants, antibiotics, topical antibiotics and stuff, and wash it, cover it, you're good to go. I mean, you'll pretty much know anything short of going to the hospital is really pretty easy to manage. Not everybody wants to use paper towels and electrical tape, but I've got some gauze and medical tape laying around here somewhere. I've got some proper bandages. I've got my whole aid kit still. And I do keep one on my go bag too, and all the tourniquets and needle decompression stuff, all that crap. But yeah, if I need to break that out, then something's gone terribly wrong, and we all need to look for help anyway. So, so Silent Bob's up there acting like an angry boa. He is. Yeah, I mean, for the most part, if you get cut or scratched or bit or something, rub some dirt in it, you're good. Yeah, rum, vodka for snake bite releases. I use the brown Listerine stuff. That's what I've got, but I haven't had to do that with any of my own animals. That's good. Or he says, how's he not honing in on your ear? He does good. He knows he doesn't have anything to worry about, and he's the boss now. Yeah, some kinds of super glue you can use on cuts as well. I mean, you get anybody that's like an old farmer or something like that, maybe an old mechanic, old school guy. You're doing mechanic work or outdoor work, carpentry, and all that stuff. There's all kinds of opportunities for shooting yourself in the hand with a nail or hitting yourself with a hammer and busting your finger open, and a cut here, a cut there. When you're in the middle of a day's work, you can't do anything except wrap something around it, tape it because that's what you got, and get back to work. Listerine and duct tape. Absolutely. Hey, Bulky Betty. Good to see ya. Oh, man. Says almost lost the last digit of a ring finger to a quince monitor. We're all dumb to a certain extent. I know I felt pretty dumb when I let Niles get a hold of the back of my neck. That kind of sucked. Oh, let's see where we at. All right. Yannick, hello. I recognize the picture. We've clearly talked at one point, but I don't remember seeing you on a live stream. So welcome. It's good to have you, my friend. Yep, Greg makes a good point. All bleeding stops eventually, with or without intervention. So. All right, let me get through here. Okay, I think I am through all of the okay, yeah, cool. I'm through all the comments. We're coming up on 8:30. It's time to move from here into the Zoom call. So again, guys, for those of you guys that are in the Patreon, this one's an open Zoom for everybody. For the contributing members who are always on, the links that I've been sending out is a recurring link. I have that one recurring link set for all the paid members. And so that's the one that we run off of. I used a different link. I made up a special link for tonight since it's open to all the members, free and paid members. So I put that out in a message, and I should have put it out on the thing to everybody too on the Patreon page. So make sure you're checking that. If you guys got any problem finding it, getting on or anything, by all means, let me know. And don't forget, I'll have to find that picture at another time because it's getting late and I forgot it now. The one of the snake grabbing the fish and all that stuff. Don't forget, guys, at 9:30 Eastern, that's going to be in 1 hour. We're going to be on Gary Tarpley's channel. There's going to be 5 of us on there talking reticulated pythons. I'm sure we're going to have a lot to talk about. We've got some really good keepers on there, some interesting people, and some pretty diverse backgrounds and perspectives. So we're all great folks. Should be a great talk. The link is pinned above. So go ahead and click on that now and just minimize it for the time being. 9:30 will be on there. I'm going to jump over to the Zoom here in just under 10 minutes. I'm going to stop, take a break, refill the coffee after this. And for everybody else, if you're interested in nature and wildlife photography, I've got the website, www.intrepidexotics.com. You can go there. There's a tab for wildlife photography, and that's where I'm posting a lot of the good photos that we get out there, and also on the Facebook page too. I get new stuff, and I'll throw it up there. So that's kind of a cool thing that we've started to add to. Hey, Bert, made it just in time for us to be signing off. Chris and Lucas is going to be on there. Chris McVicker, Lucas Bagnera, Gary Tarpley, Nicole Tisdale, and myself. So all 5 of us will be on there shooting shit tonight, and should be really good. I hope to see as many of you there as we can get there to show some support for Gary and his channel. He's a good guy. He deserves it. So you guys have an outstanding rest of the night. Have a safe weekend. We will see you at some point between now and Saturday with a video. I'm almost 100% certain. At the very least, we will see you next Saturday on the live stream. So have a great night. Thanks for hanging out, guys. We will see you all soon.